everyone, I'm back. I'm really happy today, actually. I've got great news. Just a few moments ago, I received my new ceremonial Taoist robes, a new headdress, some new prayer shoes, and also a horse whisk. If you've never noticed, most occultists just glance over or even ignore the importance of actually wearing ritual clothing. Its importance cannot be overlooked, let me tell you. Very often the robes are vital to the practice, and if you want to progress with your magic and take it to the next level, then listen up. I'm going to be explaining the meanings behind the design, the divine embroidery, and the importance of each color and subshade. So let this video be dedicated to the most powerful occult robes for Taoist weather magic. So, firstly, there are two main kinds of Taoist robes. The Jiang Yi, known as the robe of descent, which is sleeveless and made from one piece of fabric, or one with sleeves, known as the Tao Pao. When you see a Taoist robe, they are almost always conveying the cosmos in some way. The 8 immortals, for example, are often used on robes. These 8 xians represent prosperity and longevity. Individually, they have their own unique powers to offer the wearer. Sometimes referred to as the leader of the group, Xiong Li Chuan, known to carry a feathered fan. With the fan, he specializes in curing sickness, helping those who are ill, and even reviving the dead. Whereas Lu Duang Pin, an elderly Taoist scholar, can help with the slaying of demons, offer protection, and grant luck to the wearer. It is very common to see cranes and birds on Taoist garments. Cranes are generally associated with immortality and living a long, happy life. Their connection to immortality stems from the immortals, as many people believe that the immortals can fly. Auspicious fruits like peaches can carry the same association with immortality and good health. You'll also see mountains on some Tao Paos as well. This is due to the sacred nature of mountains in Taoism and Buddhism. Mountains contain great yang energy and are thought to be the homes of the immortals. So having depictions of mountains on a robe allows communication with powerful spirits. There are also 5 sacred mountains in the Taoist tradition. The most powerful deities in the Taoist system are known as the 3 Pure Ones, or the 3 Divine Teachers. You'll often see these 3 seated figures on the back of a robe, higher up than any of the other symbols. They are the purest embodiment of the Tao. Each of the powerful 3 as their own heaven. A widely known belief says the Tao produced 1, 1 produced 2, yin-yang, 2 produced 3, 3 pure ones, and 3 produced all things. Representing different phases of creation, they are the Grand Pure One, the Jade Pure One, and the Supreme Pure One. The Jade Pure One was the first to appear. He is named Yuanxi Tianzun. He is limitless and eternal, believed to have formed spontaneously via breath during the beginning of the universe. He is believed to have created the heaven and the earth, and all things of creation come into being because of him. He is known to give the scriptures of the magic jewel to his students, who then instruct people in the teachings of the Tao. He is also believed to have created the first ever writing system. The Supreme Pure One, often thought to be Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. This one manifests quite a lot. He is the most elderly out of the 3, known for his long white hair and beard. He deals with preaching and teaching the Tao to the people, offering them the truth. And lastly, the Grand Pure One, Ling Bao Tianzhen, associated with separating the yin from the yang. He is in charge of time, helps organize everything into its rightful place. The 3 Pure Ones are often referred to as avatars, gods in physical form. They are usually shown carrying relevant items that match their roles. Yuanxi Tianzhen usually holds the pearl of creation, showing his role in creating all things. Ling Bao Tianzhen usually has a Ru Yi scepter, which shows his authority and how the law of things came into action. And lastly, Duao Di Tianzi has a fan representing the completion of the universe. It's said that when he waves the fan back and forth, it spreads the Tao to all of humanity, kind of like me with my feathered fan. It's also important to remember that every Taoist sect and lineage does things in their own way. These symbols are not always found on every robe, but they hold a lot of importance. So let's talk about mine. The robes I have are made out of flax and cotton this time, so they are nice and heavy to wear, but you'll also find plenty made of silk, brocade, and linen. Let's take a look at the main design of mine here. You'll notice the main subcolor of the outer coat is black. Notice how I said subshade and not an actual color. Many Taoists choose to wear colorful robes for their rituals. Most common colors are red and yellow. Red is the luckiest color in the feng shui system, representing joy and happiness, and yellow is used to bring warmth and royal-like qi, as it is connected to the yellow emperor. So much so that in times gone by, people even worship the color yellow. But when it comes to weather magic, it should always be black, in my personal opinion. In Taoist mythology, black is referred to in the I Ching Book of Changes as heaven's subcolor. The Book of Changes was published in the 9th century BC. The ancient Chinese thought of black as the king, the ruler, the emperor of all other colors in ancient China, with association to knowledge, authority, all that is sacred and all that is powerful. A well-known poem by Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, said that 5 colors make people blind, and so black was considered the true subcolor of the Tao. In the I Ching Book of Changes, heaven is black whilst earth is yellow. My particular robes are inspired by Zhuge Liang's Borrowing the Eastern Wind story from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. In the brilliant 1994 TV show called Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Zhuge Liang wears black robes for his prayer ceremony to summon the winds. In the 2010 TV series Three Kingdoms, he once again wears a black robe. So why is this? White deflects light, whilst black absorbs it. Light contains energy, qi, and the whole purpose of this ritual is to gather and store qi into your body. The more you have, the greater effect your spell will have. When wearing black, you soak up all of the energy from the mountain deities, the river spirits, the earth itself, the sun, the stars, celestial bodies, and basically all of reality. Black absorbs all wavelengths of light. You turn yourself into a strong magnet, so think of it like you're getting more fuel. Some of the qi will go directly into your vital organs, getting stored in the kidneys. Some of it will travel through your blood and it may exit via breath. It's life force. You can use a Luopon feng shui compass to measure the qi if you want to. You're basically gaining more power, and when you're ready, you release that energy via your ceremonial sword to change the external environment. It's a cycle. Qi enters the body. Once charged, it leaves via the sword, once again entering the atmosphere, which is where it causes visible change to the weather. This is why you definitely want to be outside when doing this. Black is also the subcolor of yin, so when paired with yang, it creates total harmony and balance. So the reason why you wear the black over the white is to create the effect of energy bouncing back. Just as snow reflects the light of the sun back, the white robe will feed the darker outer coat, so it creates a perfect system where the two subshades rely on each other. Just like the Taiji, opposite contrary forces living in total harmony with one another. On occasions, I've wore only white robes, usually for summoning snow during winter. Even though the prayer to bring forth the snow worked, it took much longer, and I didn't feel anywhere near as powerful. I felt sluggish because the qi wasn't getting through properly. The ceremony took way longer than usual, and the end result was nowhere near as potent. You'll notice around the sleeves there's a grey border. This represents the middle path. Not black magic, not white. Totally neutral and centered within the Tao. Black and white, when mixed, create grey. Gray is powerful beyond measure as it combines both elements and forces into one. The solidity of yang, the flexibility of yin, the heat of yang, the coolness of yin, the fiery nature of yang, and the calm, steady demeanor of yin, the heavenly influence of yang and the earthly influence of yin. If you want to practice Taoist weather magic, you need to have the best of both worlds. It's no good being heavy on either side. We certainly wouldn't want any polarity here. That would disturb the natural order of things. So what about the divine symbolism? This is extremely important. Some Western occultists have the belief that no symbols are inherently divine or powerful. I'd have to respectfully disagree. All the embroidery on here is by nature cosmically charged. They are supernatural. Common symbols of divinity include the sun, the dragons, the moon, mountains, clouds, birds, and of course, constellations, stars, lightning bolts, cranes, and the 8 trigrams of the Bogwa, just to name a few. So on mine you can see the clouds here. Clouds in Chinese mythology are very auspicious, very lucky. They are pronounced as yun, which is similar to the way that the Chinese pronounce luck or fortune. This is because they bring down rain to water our crops, which nourishes us and other living beings, bringing forth lots of nice qi. This is obviously a connection to the element of water. Water is connected to yin. Yin is lunar energy. This might explain why the moon controls the earthly tides. So that would help me, the wearer, in calling rain and storms for my ceremonies, and allowing me to reach contact with the thunder spirits. The cloud is considered to be the partnership of yin and yang, so both forces coming together. So when you see clouds on a Taoist robe, it is likely that the Tao Shi, the Taoist priest, is going to be working with water or weather at some point. It is also common to see a dragon often residing on a cloud. The dragon is often perceived to be related to floods and thunderstorms, and of course clouds. Heavenly entities love to sit on heavenly perches. Back in ancient times, only rulers were allowed to wear heavenly symbolism, things like stars, constellations, suns, planets, because only the emperor was viewed as the rightful representative of heaven. On my other robes, you've often seen me wearing a long black coat with the vermilion bird symbolism embroidered down its borders and across the neck. The vermilion bird represents the element of fire, the southern direction, the heart, and the season of summer. This has a supreme yang energy to it, so I generally wear this to feel more energetic and lively. It's especially useful for longer, more drawn-out workings in the height of summer, and it's great for calling southern winds. I always feel I have more physical stamina when using the vermilion bird. On this robe here, I have the Northern Dipper on my sleeve to bring me closer to the Star Lords and allow me to work with longevity spells and the extension of one's own lifespan. Since these stars govern all human affairs, wearing this makes me feel more protected. I feel safe knowing I have the 7 stars watching over me. The point is, wearing different robes with divine symbolism makes you feel different emotionally, and you may want to summon a certain emotion for a magical working. Surrounding yourself with good positive symbols is akin to surrounding yourself with good positive people. It will help lift your spirits. One thing I should mention here is I get a lot of comments from viewers who often compliment my ceremonial outfits, and I'm very grateful for this, but they usually base their opinions on the elaborateness of the clothing, not the usefulness of it. I like fancy things, don't get me wrong, but if it's all for show, then it's not balanced. It has to work. Ornateness without usefulness isn't going to get you results, it's not going to get you anywhere. So don't get too caught up on how something looks. Study the symbolism, the colors, and the cut to find out what speaks to you. You may find that you have an attraction to the white tiger of the West, for example, that's associated with the season of autumn, the color white, the lungs, and the element of metal. I'll go into more detail about the 4 celestial animals in a future video, but never base your opinion on how something looks. And a recurring question that I get coming through quite often is, what is the most powerful robe that you have? And this is somewhat difficult to answer, but there are 2 that I would say are the most potent, and they make my magic more intense. And it's the 2 robes you're seeing right now. Those that you're seeing are made just for weather magic, whereas a lot of the other robes I have are for varying things, general magic. They have uses in feng shui, uses for wealth enhancement, longevity, but those 2 robes are purely for powerful high Taoist weather magic, and that's why I like to use those a lot. In my experience, you get better results when you know what you want from magic, and it's the same thing. It applies to tools, it applies to robes. If you know what you're going after, if you're a necromancer, or you're a diviner, or a weather magician, you've got to find the symbols that suit your style, that suit your practice. So don't just get something because it has everything on it. Sometimes everything won't work for you. You've got to find the very specific ingredients to make exactly what you want. Because if you're not knowledgeable and you're looking to buy your first robe and you think, well, I don't know what I want, So I'll just get every symbol in Taoism embroidered on this robe, and that'll work, right? Well, no. That'll dilute the whole effect. You have to be very specific. And if you want Lord Josh's recommendations for all the people out there who are buying robes for the first time, definitely use the vermilion bird. Going back to these robes right here, this set was completely custom made actually, so it's a complete one-off just for me. And it was inspired by Zhuge Liang's wind robes. So sometimes, if you have the money, I cannot recommend this enough. You really want to look at the situation and say, I need something super powerful for this. And I've got to sit down with a pencil and paper, talk to my tailor. I have wonderful tailors at China Cart. That's the place where I get all of my robes. Incredible store. I've been buying robes from there for years. Highly recommend it. But sometimes you want that custom-made piece. And believe me, it works tremendously well. And also, while we're at it, pay no mind to the people out there, the other occultists, who say that robes are not important. These people are either lying or grossly misinformed. I remember what it was like before I actually put on a ceremonial outfit for the first time. I practiced magic for 2 years straight without wearing a robe, and yes, I did have good results, but I wasn't practicing high magic. There's a huge difference between a ritual and a ceremony. And I think everybody starts off with rituals because it's easier, it's less challenging. But the whole idea is to move forward and progress and evolve spiritually and get to a greater level, to ascend, right? Everybody's looking for ascension, to go higher. And to do that, you need to practice high magic. And one of the requirements of high magic is wearing a ceremonial outfit. And I'm not just talking exclusively for Taoism or Chinese magic, but with anything. It's the same in the Western world. So don't let people give you this cookie-cutter formula and tell you that these things don't matter. Believe me, I've got an entire wardrobe full of robes. They do matter and they do work. So when it comes down to it really, ceremonial clothing is just like wearing a huge talisman on your body. If chosen correctly, it brings the wearer good fortune, protects him and connects him with higher deities, and invites plenty of qi to be absorbed. What you do with that qi, however, is entirely up to you, and I know what I like to do with it. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope this has been an eye-opener for you, and I guarantee you're never going to see a video like this again on YouTube, because these ancient Chinese robes and the Taoist styles are very hard to come by. Like I said, great store, China Cart. Start there. It's a wonderful place to get robes. My favorite place. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.